If no one's there to hug you, hug yourself. You look like a freaking idiot, but that's okay. Because what matters is that you feel better afterwards. Right? Because I constantly worrying about what other people will think of you if they'll think what you're doing is weird is kind of an exhausting way to live, and trust me, I'm speaking from experience right now. But anyways, hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some wholesome memes, because why not? With all the absolutely amazing things going on in the world, and with all the absolutely lovely people on the internet who love leaving hate comments on literally anything and everything, I feel like we kind of regularly need a dose of wholesomeness. So that's what we're doing today. But either way, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Positive self-talk in the negative self-talk factory. How queer. I've never seen such a thing. I must inquire about this further with my supervisor post-haste. Well, I guess we're doing positive self-talk now. I guess we're just gonna put this back. I'm sure it's fine. Right. But that's the thing. Like, you can't just decide to talk to yourself more positively and then just magically all the red triangles go away and magically there's only the blue positive self-talk ones. That's not really how this works. But kind of making that decision and trying to implement it and then just finding these random blue balls everywhere is gonna happen. And slowly, you might not even really notice it at first. There's gonna be more blue balls than red, you know? And at some point, like, it's not magically gonna go away ever, maybe. Like, I feel like kind of self-doubt and having, like, negative thoughts, just kind of part of human experience, right? But I guess you're gonna find, like, kind of a balance of just having, like, a few sprinkled in there that you can just, like, deal with, because it's kind of just, like, a healthy amount of kind of maybe just, like, worrying and kind of motivating you to push further, right? Rather than just pulling you down because you're being clubbed to death by an amazing amount of red triangles, you know? Nessie, where are you? Oh, hey Bob. Where have you been, old friend? It's been so long. Yeah, nobody believes in me anymore, so I stayed away for a while. I still believe in you, Nessie. I'll always believe in you. Thanks, Bob. That means a lot. Because sometimes you just need someone to believe in you. In all fairness, that one person who believes in you can be yourself. But sometimes, or often, it's kind of nice to have someone else who just believes in you. You know? And often that's kind of enough. Like, you don't need 50 people to believe in you. Just like having one person you're really close with that you trust, and they trust you, and you can just basically share everything and just kind of encourage each other when the other person needs it is kind of great. But then again, if that's not your situation at the moment, then doing the best you can for yourself is still very essential, you know? And also, we have a second comic of these, because A, these are adorable, and I found the second one first. Hey Bob, are you home? Oh, hi Nessie, so nice to see you. Do you still have that wooden thing that makes music? I sure do. Can you play my favorite song? Of course, old friend. And again, just adorable. Look at how happy Ness is. Nessie looks so happy in this last picture. This is amazing. Nessie might not remember the word for guitar or the name of her favorite song, but Bob sure does. And that's just look at this and tell me you don't find this cute. Oh no, what will we do? My kite flew into the tree. Wait, hold on to me. Wait, what do you do? Get ready. Bounce, bounce. Wow, you're amazing. You lift me up when I'm down. Okay, on an unrelated note, if someone is afraid of snakes, the fact that they can bounce like this might seem incredibly creepy. but fair enough. But in this instant, it's just practical, because how else is a tiny animal like this rabbit gonna reach their kite, you know? So it's practical. And again, having someone in your life that can lift you up, you can either do it yourself, you know, by positive self-talk, but if you have a snake friend to bounce you up, I guess it also works. I make my little sandwich, I place it on a shelf, and when it's time to eat it, I thank my morning self. It's kind of just a present from past you, really. Like, past us. Sometimes it's just a dickhead, you know? Because when you're thinking, oh, no, it's fine, I don't need to do this, I can do this later, then future you is probably not gonna thank past self. You know, because I was like, damn, now I gotta do it, instead of past self having done it, you know? But the good news is you can kind of turn around. Like, of course you can't always do everything, you know, just so you never have to do things again. That's unfortunately not how this works. But, you know, that doesn't mean you can't leave little presents, like preparing a lunch. Even if it's just like a simple sandwich or anything like that. That just kind of make things a little bit easier for future you. Or like having dinner prepped that you just like need to, whatever, heat it up or put it in the oven or something. Might be nice. Like things like this, like especially if you come home from work or something, or you're on your lunch break and you just like quickly need to eat something. Having something prepared is better than maybe just eating snacks all day. Because as much as I love snacks and as much as I am for people enjoying their snacks, if that's all you're eating all day, you're probably not gonna feel your best, you know? I don't wanna do it. No, hang on, we're not gonna do this. Now what we're gonna do instead is imagining how nice it would be not to have to worry about it tomorrow. Yes, technically you're right, but I'm gonna be honest right now, I do struggle with this. Because I'm just like, well, no, but I'm too anxious about it right now, I can't do it now. And then I don't do it, but I continue being anxious about it, or maybe sometimes I actually manage to forget about it. And then remember a couple of days later, I'm just like, oh shh. And sometimes then I really, really need to do it, and then I just do it. Sometimes I just continue being anxious about it a little bit, but... oh well. Technically you're right. Like, I know you're right. That's the thing. Sometimes just knowing what is the right thing or the practical thing to do doesn't fully help. But maybe keeping this in mind is still gonna help us do this a little bit less, you know, of just being like, no, I can't do this now, I don't want to do it. You know, like if you have executive dysfunction, that's not really how this works, but still, for some things it might. How life feels after proving your old self wrong and actually changing for the better instead of believing you never could. I mean, self-limiting beliefs are a thing. Like, if you actually believe there's no point to anything and there's no point to even trying to improve or to do things differently, then yeah, chances are you're never gonna do anything. You're never gonna actually get better because, you know, as important or as amazing as it is to have people encourage you from the outside, if you truly don't believe you can get better or improve, then yeah, you're not gonna get better. But if you believe you can, even if you don't really fully know how you're gonna do it, if you don't really see it happening anytime soon, but just kind of believing and knowing that you can eventually get better is literally just gonna help. You know, if you're like me, you probably tend to then overdo it and just be like, no, but I need to do all the things now. You don't need to do all the things. I don't need to do all the things. It's okay to take baby steps, you know, and just kind of throwing in little things. You know, if you want to learn a new language, just immediately watching content and just hoping you'll understand something, not going to be helpful. Is it going to help you, like, kind of get a hang of what this language is supposed to sound like? Is this going to help you pronounce it? Probably, but just kind of going off and imagining to understand the whole language in like a month. Not realistic, but kind of just watching a few clips here and there to get used to how the language sounds to maybe help you learn the language better, sure. If it's something you enjoy watching, it might motivate you to learn the language. But it's okay to take your time doing the actual thing and just taking baby steps towards it. Suddenly awaking. Wait, hang on, how late is it? Oh, 2:19. Oh, thank goodness, there's still a lot of time left for sleep. And then if you actually just are able to fall back asleep immediately, best feeling. Like, the first emotion I always get is just super irritated because why the hell am I awake? I don't want to be awake. Why am I awake? But then, since I'm still so tired, I usually still just fall back asleep. Most of the time. Sometimes I'm just really just awake. I'm just like, why are we awake? Like, I doze off, I sleep for like 10 minutes, and then I wake up and then I can't fall asleep anymore. That does happen some nights, and I just kind of have to force myself to go back to bed at like 4 in the morning and try to fall asleep. You know, but most nights, just realizing you can still sleep so much is amazing. There's a saying, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy me things that make me happy, like cupcakes. Can it buy, like, unlimited happiness? No. Can it buy things that give you, like, short bursts of, like, happiness? Sure. It can also, with a little bit of more money, buy things that make your life easier, you know? That's why we have technology for things, because it's supposed to make your life easier, you know? But honestly, don't let people shame you out of your snack. If getting a cupcake after a long week just makes you happy and makes you able to kind of relax and then maybe tackle all the things you couldn't do during the week, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Like, don't listen to people who try to come for your joy, okay? Just don't. Okay, in case you're having a bad day, I printed this special pot for my plant. Okay, look at how tiny this plant is. I mean, yes, this pot is absolutely adorable, and I kind of want a 3D printer. Would it ultimately be cheaper than buying pots for your plants? Probably not, but look at how cool this pot is. So first of all, that's amazing, this is adorable, but this plant is so tiny. And the good news is you can print it like a bigger, equally as cute pot when it grows. Please don't kill it, because this is just adorable and it fits so well. It just looks right and it's so adorable. Me, just chilling. My past traumas and the resulting negative beliefs that are no longer useful to me. I don't technically want to condone arson, but this type of arson, sure, actually yes I do. In this case I really do, because kind of just burning down the things, like honestly I did this thing when I was younger of just like writing out whatever was stressing me and whatever was making me angry or something, just writing it on a piece of paper and then burning it. Did it solve the problem? No, but it kind of felt very soothing and therapeutic to kind of just like let it out, right? Did that involve actual fire? Yes, it doesn't need to involve actual fire. And if it did, it'd actually be easier, because letting go of like negative beliefs about yourself or just letting go of trauma obviously doesn't work like this. You can't just like take it out of your brain and set it on fire. It'd be great if you could, but you can't. But figuratively you can. And kind of deciding that you're gonna get past it and deciding that you're gonna work on yourself, again, obviously isn't gonna magically solve everything, but it can eventually just help you get better. Studying psychology to see what evil people are capable of doing? No. Studying psychology to see what good things people are capable of doing. Yes. I wanted to study psychology, not for either of these two reasons, just because I found it fascinating, but anyways. Mostly just because people confused me and I wanted to get people, which should have maybe told me a few things about myself, but that's beside the point. This is kind of, I keep saying this in whatever videos really, that things are often just about perspective. And if you focus on only seeing the negative, because you don't even need to focus really to see negative in this world, you can just like go outside or watch the news or anything, because you'll be bombarded with it anyways, right? But if you then like only focus on that and go down so many rabbit holes, because you can very easily go down all the rabbit holes of all the things that are wrong with this world, but it's not going to help the actual thing get better that you're going down the rabbit hole of. Like, it's not going to stop war or stop people from being shitty to each other. It's just going to make you feel worse. Like, being aware of things and being educated on things, sure, but kind of just tanking your own mental health because you're so obsessed with just focusing on everything going wrong in the world isn't going to help anyone. Focusing on the positive and kind of trying to bring a positive energy to things obviously also isn't going to magically solve everything. But at least you're not going to go down the drain as well. And at least you are going to have the energy and the motivation and inspiration to maybe change things in like little ways, which are eventually gonna add up if enough people do it, you know? So just kind of getting a perspective, or trying to get a new perspective, and trying to focus on things that are going right and positive changes is still gonna be helpful. Wow, how did you get like that? Every time that I see my wife and I feel my love for her grow, I do one push-up. Jesus Christ. You look really bad. I don't think just push-ups could do this, by the way, but healthy relationships. I am impressed by them because we do not see it often enough. I don't even care if it's like in real life or on like TV shows or movies. I feel like we don't see it enough. And I feel like showing more healthy relationships might also be beneficial to all the people not having good relationships, you know, to kind of see what that would look like. Dad, what's for dinner? Whatever you want, Rory. But you've already started making something? It's never too late to start over. I'm not for wasting food. But yes, most things you could just like let it cool and put in the fridge later for tomorrow. And get started on something else. It would also just be a nice thing to be like, oh, you're making this? No, that's okay. I was really feeling like eating this other thing, but we can just make that tomorrow, right? But it is technically never too late to start over. I'm not trying to come for the wholesome, I'm just all for being appreciative of someone doing something nice for you and taking care of you and cooking food for you and also not wasting food. But as for anything, it is technically never too late to start over. I don't care how old you are, I don't care, you know, like, it doesn't matter. If you want to try something new, you can. And some people are gonna look at you and be like, but that's a bit weird that you're only starting doing this thing now. Like, who learns to dance when they're 50? Not a lot of people probably know, but a lot of people don't. Not because they maybe wouldn't want to, but maybe because they're just scared of people like you judging them. So don't be a dickhead. If someone wants to start a new hobby or do whatever at any age, don't be judgy about it. Just let them have their joy. Because these people just going around constantly judging everyone else are probably just like scared to do what they want because they think other people are gonna be weird about it. Let's all just be chill and not be dickheads to each other, you know? It could actually be that simple, but apparently it isn't. Selfie, Brandon Weigel. Okay, just standing here with my mirror, drying myself in front of the windmill. Actually, this is not that easy. Wait, pardon, but would you mind? Huh? Oh, I'm sure. Fully concentrated, trying to draw this dude. Yes, taking selfies now is a lot easier than, you know, like self-portraits have always been a thing, but I guess taking self-portraits now in just the form of a selfie just got a whole lot easier. But I love how concentrated this dude is. He's like, okay, I want to make this as accurate as I can. I'm not a painter, but I'm gonna do my damn best because you asked nicely. And I'm very here for that. Afraid to try yoga because it's for skinny rich people, but I need a form of exercise I don't hate. Do a 2-week trial at my local studio. No one made fun of me. I kind of like it. Started doing yoga 5 days a week. I'm bad at it, but my instructors and classmates are very encouraging. 6 months later, I'm down 50 pounds and I've never felt better physically and mentally. I accept where I am in my practice and don't judge myself. I've also made yoga friends. Yeah, that's kind of the great things about like a lot of hobbies that you do in a group setting. You can just kind of like meet like-minded people. Like if you don't have that many friends or if you just want to meet new people, hobbies are kind of a great way to do that. And at the same time, I love this, and again, let's not just be judgy. Like, there will eventually, or like, ultimately just be people who are gonna be judgy, but it really doesn't matter what you do. If you're an overweight person, they're gonna be judgy anyways. Like, if you don't do any kind of exercise, then it's your own fault and you should do better and you should take care of yourself. If you do any kind of exercise, it's not the right kind of exercise in these people's minds. So, just people, just try to find your joy and just like do that. If yoga is something you really enjoy doing, even if you're not like, honestly, I feel like especially with something like yoga, if you don't have any kind of like flexibility, it's gonna be difficult at first. But that doesn't mean you can't do better. Like a lot of things have like modified versions of it, like a lot of poses for beginners to kind of like slowly ease into it, So do whatever you want. Try to find what works for you. Try to find what is fun for you, because ultimately if you're just like literally forcing yourself to run on a treadmill, you're not going to do that long term. And it's not going to help your health. But if you find something that is fun for you, then it will work. And I'm really glad you found your thing. This is your brain normally. And this is your brain on video games. It looks like it's having a great time. Oh yeah, video games rock. Again, let's not be judgy. Like, I know some people are really weird about video games. Do I really get it? Do I get people who play video games a lot? No. Because that's never been my interest, so I don't really get it. But that doesn't mean I can't just accept that it's fun for people. To me, it would just like, I get so stressed. I would be so stressed. So it would not help me feel better. But if it works for you, if getting angry at it even maybe is enjoyable to you, then go nuts. Really. My friend can't go out with us because she just got new foster kitties and I can go to her house to pet them. I see this as an absolute win. I mean, I would prefer chilling at someone's house with them rather than going out anyways, but foster kitties are an absolute added bonus. Waking up with a headache and having to go to work. Husband bringing me coffee, breakfast, and Advil before I leave. Oh yes. Listen, it's maybe still not the best day at work for you. Like, you're probably not gonna feel your best. But just knowing that someone cares for you and loves you and tries to make things easy for you can still help a lot. Like, it's better than if you had to do all those things yourself. Like, the nourishment from like the breakfast and everything would have been the same. The pain lessening from the Advil may have been the same otherwise, but it's still, well, actually, if you mentally feel better, you're physically probably also gonna feel better. So, maybe this actually works better. Realizing I've wasted my last 10 years being depressed and thinking I could be in a better place if I just pushed myself hard enough. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna understand that the past cannot be changed and acknowledge my accomplishments despite my strugglings, while striving to be better now that I can control the present. Exactly. Like, kind of, there's like a difference between dwelling on the past and just kind of like reflecting. If you're reflecting, it's like, well, I wish I would have done these things, then that's maybe something you can do now. If you wish you started learning a new language, but you were too depressed to even really shower regularly, then kind of blaming yourself for not having done that already, pointless. But taking that and be like, well, I used to shame myself for this, and I used to be depressed that I couldn't do it. Well, maybe I just start doing that now. Maybe that's a fun thing for me to do now. I don't know why I keep coming back to that. I'm literally just grasping at examples right now, but you get my point, I think. Right? Just kind of reflecting me like, well, I used to like think negatively about these things, and I just kind of trying to decide if it was just like shame from outside that you brought on about things you should be doing with your life, you know, that you don't actually care about, kind of just reflecting what you care about and what you maybe want to do in your life now that you aren't so depressed you can't do anything. Is a good thing, but just dwelling on it and just be like, oh, but I wasted so much time isn't gonna help you. It's actually just gonna waste more time. You know? Bad day, honey. Here, I made you tea to ease your mind. Do you want me to be with you? Thank you. Well, I think I want to spend some time alone. Person gives them the tea and leaves. Mood up. Because again, knowing that someone is there for you, even if they're not physically right there for you, is important. Knowing that you could go to them, and knowing that they're just willing to help you feel better, even if that thing is just like leaving you alone, is helpful. And also tea, if you like tea, will help you make you feel better. Maybe you prefer hot chocolate, maybe you prefer whatever. You know, just like knowing your partner, knowing that that's what works for you, or even your friends, knowing that that's what works for you, and just like giving you the thing that works, and then just like giving you the space that you need in that moment. Important. Maybe some days you don't need to be left alone. Maybe sometimes you need to vent about things. But having someone who just like asks what you need in that moment and what they can do to make you feel better is important, and kind of recognizing that one solution doesn't fit all, you know, just kind of being pushy and just like pushing them to talk or something might not be what they need in that moment is maybe also important. And to finish off this meme, very important, I am once again asking for you to be nice to yourself. Because I know magically it won't happen overnight if you're currently not very nice to yourself, but I am once again asking you, and I'm gonna keep asking you, to be nicer to yourself. Because I know you can be nicer to yourself. You know you can be nicer to yourself. Even if you don't realistically see how you're gonna do it yet. But I know you can. Anyways, that was all the memes. I feel like we've kind of refilled our wholesomeness tanks a bit with these cute little comics and everything, so I'm gonna leave you here with one last reminder to maybe stay hydrated. Because as much as improving your mental health helps your physical health, taking care of your physical health in little ways is also gonna help your mental health, you know? So stay hydrated, and I will see you in a few days with my next video.